Hello everyone and welcome once again to another edition of the Foolish Fish Esoteric News with your weekly updates on the worlds of esoteric and occult book publishing and arts and events and paraphernalia. Thank you so much for joining me once again. It's such a pleasure to do this every week for you guys, and I wouldn't be able to do it for you every single week the way I do it if it weren't for miskatonicbooks.com, who sponsor the show. Thank you so much, miskatonicbooks.com, who are your number one international purveyor of esoteric and occult books. You know the kinds of books that I like to review over here? Pretty books, really nice, good-looking books that have been usually published by independent publishers who, focus on very small runs because, well, they're small independent publishers, right? And very often those books go out of print very quickly. Well, miskatonicbooks.com likely has a copy of the book that you're looking for on their shelves, and if you just head over to miskatonicbooks.com, you can use the link that's down in the description. In fact, you'll find the links for everything that I'm talking about in these videos down in the description, you'll be able to see all the very nice books that they have on their front page, but also, I'm just scrolling through their front page right now, but they've got so much, folks. Really, they've got some really very, very nice books, and they've got some courses as well that you can absolutely go and check out. I think I can personally heartily recommend every single one of those 4 courses that are on the screen right now. And as we've discovered last week, they started doing web books as well of their own publications. So very, very nice stuff indeed. All right, so that's miskatonicbooks.com. Go and check them out if you haven't done so already. The first bit of news today comes from Robert Rubin from magic.tv, who sent me a digital copy of just a very early pre-edited version of the Anubeon, and yes, there were a few bits to fix still, and as you can see, there's over a month left before publication date, but folks, it's so exciting. It's so nice. So Robert took Jack Grail's Hail Hecate course and obviously read the Hecateon, and has come up with a similar process for his own patron deity Anubis, and it reads very differently than the Hecateon, but it's very, very, very personal and very nice. There's a lot going on there, which I think that anyone interested in approaching aspects of divinity, anyone is going to be interested in, but people who are interested in Anubis, you're going to lose your minds, folks. This is very, very cool indeed. So, so that's coming out in 45 days. There's a countdown clock on the front page over here. So I'll leave a link down in the description so you can find out all about that in your own time. You'll also find that they're releasing like little fanzines. Is that still a thing? I mean, that's very 1990s, isn't it? Fanzines. Anyway, zines, magazines, I guess in the similar format as what you saw with, what were they called? Scavenged Rituals, which I've actually done a review of at least issue number 1 on my YouTube channel, so you can go and check that out. But they're releasing all of the magic.tv interviews as transcriptions, which is kind of cool as well, right? Pretty nice. And you might know that I was a guest on Magic TV in the 2nd season, so that's awesome. Best of luck with this, Robert, and I think this is really, really exciting. I'm sure many people are probably going to agree with me. Okay, let's continue. Stay connected for new books. Yes, of course. So here we go. The critical edition of the works of Carl Jung, folks. This has not happened in quite a long time, and just a full new edition of the works of Carl Jung, and it's going to be a critical edition. So, multi-year publishing project which will make vibrant new translations of Carl Jung's writing available in 26-volume critical edition, organized chronologically and with an extensive scholarly apparatus. We invite you to learn more about this exciting project here, explore contents for the first volumes, read the press release, and sign up to receive updates. So, yeah, this is extremely exciting stuff, folks. Of course, it's Sonu Shamdasani who brought us the Red Book, right, the Liber Novus, who is at the head of this project. And so it's Princeton University Press, and I think they're the ones who published the Red Book as well. I might be mistaken there, but anyway, yeah, I really recommend checking out everything you can about this critical edition of the works of Carl Jung. There's a really, really nice description of what a critical edition is on the front page over here, and just an idea of the first volumes in this complete collected works, which are described over here. I just want a nice edition of, is it Man and His Symbols, which is only available in the English language as the most disgusting, pulpy paperback ever, which clearly was published in the, I don't know, 60s or 70s. It's just hideous. And as important as the information in that book is, I can't bring myself to spend good money on it. It's terrible, isn't it? I feel like such a snob and an idiot because clearly the information inside is important. But I'm just delighted that we're going to finally get it, and we may not get it in the early days of this new series. And it's fine. I'm happy to wait another 5 years until they get round to it. But just the knowledge that we're going to have a nice edition of it, that I'm finally going to be able to read and not dirty my precious little paws on a cheap, pulpy paperback, makes me pleased. It's bad, isn't it? Yeah, it's bad. Don't judge me too much, please. All right. There we go. All right, let's move on. Oh, yeah, there's a whole podcast, folks, by the way, about this, which I can't remember who it was, but thank you, whoever it was. Thank you so much for reaching out to me on Facebook and letting me know about that. Okay, let's move on to a few more, let's say, broad, wider publications. And the first one is this, A Practical Guide to Magic and Nature. As always, folks, I'm going to show you a few books on Amazon right now. If you use the links down below, those will give me a small commission. But if you have the opportunity of buying these books at a local bookstore of your own, please do that. Please, please, please support your local bookstores. We don't want local bookstores disappearing. Okay, please do it if you can. So, A Practical Guide to Magic and Nature, this stunningly illustrated book, is a reference guide for magical correspondences found in nature. It's an unmissable resource for understanding and utilizing the properties of over 500 natural items, from herbs and crystals to animals, elements, woods, and more. An experienced spellcaster, Jessica Lahoud, I'm not sure, wants to empower everyone with the ability to integrate these tools into their practice, harnessing the natural energies around us. And this is Rockpool Publishing, so you know that it's going to be pretty nice. I really do expect so. There are so many self-published books coming out every week, and I just struggle to find anything of any, demonstrable value. And I'm going to show you a couple today, actually, that I think could potentially have demonstrable value. But when I see like a major book company releasing a book, my skepticism level drops by about 3%. You know, it makes me a little bit more likely to look into it, and actually, yeah, this does in fact look quite nice. If I have a closer look, you'll see how nice those illustrations in fact are, how beautifully the book is presented. Is the quality of the contents any good? I haven't had a very close look, but it seems to me like the kind of book that at least has the potential of having high quality contents. And yeah, it's nicely organized, it's nicely presented, it's got the makings of a very nice book indeed, right? Let's check this out about Belladonna. Yes, Celestial Body Saturn makes good sense. Nurturing energy profile, fine. Chakra, third eye, magical power, psychic power, protection, banishing visions. Well, that makes good sense, right? Poison warning, do not ingest. That's responsible. Yeah, good idea. Not every magic book on the poison path even bothers to mention that. Belladonna is a highly poisonous plant, blah blah blah. Okay, historically has been used to break curses, induce visions, reach transcendental meditative states. Yeah, that looks like a nice book to me. All right, let's move on to Of Doves and Ravens, the Witches and Wise Folk of Wales and the Borders. So this is not released quite yet. I guess we've got about a month before it does get released. It's by Benjamin Stimpson. Magic pervades every inch of Wales, from Anglesey in the north to the Vale of Glamorgan in the south, from the Marches in the east, Marches, yes, I guess, in the east to the shores on the west. Every corner of this landscape are stories of local magicians and witches, yet so many of these figures are relatively unknown outside of Wales and are overshadowed by their English counterparts. Set in encyclopedia format, Of Doves and Ravens invites readers on a tour through the rich folklore of this landscape. Discover the recollections, of course. No, the recollections of market fortune tellers who historically plied their trade in the 18th and 19th centuries, and meet the Gratch, maybe, who dwell in lonely places. It's Welsh, isn't it? I don't have a chance of pronouncing this properly, but certainly these Hisbys who help find lost cattle and protect against the malevolence of witches, and the legendary magicians who summon demons and often are buried in the walls of churches. This is Magical Wales Revealed. Simon Dider, I'm looking at you right now. So this is going to be a lot of fun, I would imagine, and certainly very interesting in anyone who might have an interest in the traditional magic of the British Islands. Okay, good stuff. And let's continue with the Magic Jar formula. This is definitely self-published, but I like the concept. I like the idea. I don't know that we have millions and millions of books on witch bottles, and so the Magic Jar formula seems like something potentially to look into. Ever wanted to dig into some old school magic? This guide's got you covered with 10 jar spells that tap into some deep, dark magic and ancient rituals. If you're after love, money, healing, justice, or spiritual protection, the Magic Jar formula walks you through everything in a super clear way, using simple stuff and focused intention. So I like at least what they're promising, right? It seems like they're going to be explaining how this magic works and giving you 10 solid examples. So that sounds pretty good to me. It sounds like some magic that most people can probably reach for and get some good results for. It's quite easy to get good results with Magic Jar. Excuse me. Okay, let's see. Yeah, that all looks good. Let's continue with another book from Crosscrow Books this time. This is Invisible Fire, Traditional Themes in Western Mysticism and Sethian Gnosticism by Nikolai de Matos Frisvold. So let's see. Invisible Fire is a work that presents the traditional themes in Western mysticism as it pertains to the perennial school of theology, mysticism, and metaphysics. So those of you who have doubts on perennialism, well, for those of you who do have doubts on perennialism, I would point you to a video that I made called A Problem with My Religion, in which I give my own perspective on perennialism. I certainly see that perennialism can be, and certainly does, get has been, yes, it certainly does get misused. It gets used as an excuse for some pretty nasty ideologies. Yeah, there's no question about it, no doubt about it. So yeah, definitely do your due diligence. But it's also, in my opinion, I don't know. It's certainly my worldview, my understanding of how spirituality works. So when your religion has been co-opted by some pretty nasty people, what do? Do you drop the religion? So anyway, here we have Nikolai de Matos Frisvold, who is taking the approach of perennialism to investigate Western mysticism. Hopefully he does a good job. So Invisible Fire strives towards presenting metaphysical exploration in an engaging and all-embracing way. Hence, it fills a vacuum in the mystical and philosophical literature that tends to be too dry and academic for many readers. Still, solidly anchored in history, philosophy, and metaphysics, it is a book that strives to engage the reader with its Gnostic vision to rediscover one's own center, if not the cosmic center, and the divinity of the anima mundi and the world at large in all its cosmic splendor. Sounds at least interesting. Yes, as such, Invisible Fire is a book that unifies and inspires, a book that brings a vision of world tradition and spirituality into a unified and integrated whole that will expand the horizon of the reader and make their perspective on faith and mystery richer. If he delivers, and on that promise, then that should be a really very cool book indeed. So fingers crossed there. Anyone who might have already read it, it's been out. Oh no, it's not been out. It's coming out in 5 days' time. Okay. Just reach out and let us know how it is. Okay. Good. Let's take a look over here. Oh yeah, this is a beautiful tarot that Benabel Wen pointed us to through her social media yesterday or a couple of days ago. Orders will ship in September 2025. This is the Verdance Tarot deck, and it looks really lovely. Let me just go to the section of the website over here that's called The Cards, and we'll take a closer look. Okay, I've put links down in the description so that you can actually go ahead and pre-order the deck. But here it is, and that appeals to me. I don't always appreciate watercolor on tarot cards for some reason. I don't know why. But this is quite nice. You know that I enjoy the Woodlands Wardens Oracle deck specifically, but that I've avoided the Woodland Wardens Tarot deck because the cards feature anthropomorphic animals, and it's just not my thing, right? Whereas the Oracle deck are not anthropomorphic, they just really beautifully designed cards. Well, this seems like a tarot that features animals being themselves and in their own energy, and that kind of makes sense to me. Just gonna scroll down some of the major arcana here, and maybe you'll see how some of those titles really do make sense for the particular animals being depicted, but also how beautiful that artwork is. Just gorgeous, right? Just utterly gorgeous. Very, very nice indeed. So that's the Verdance Tarot. I'll just show you a couple of the pips. What shall we go with? Let's go with cups. Why not? Just to see a few. And okay, so the color themed, and every card is has some kind of figurative representation on it, so that's lovely stuff. Okay, all right, next we've got Secret Garden Renaissance Magic in Tarot, and this scratches the itch for me. This is lovely. I like it very much, and I appreciate that the author states very clearly that no AI was used in the creation of this deck, and that's incredible. Looking at the artwork here, looking at the I would have assumed, right? I would have assumed, but the creator has actually shared their work process. Of course, it's digital art. It's been made on a tablet, but it has been hand drawn, not generated pixels. So I appreciate that. I like that. Are they beautiful? Yeah, I mean, who doesn't draw using a tablet? Of course you would, if you're drawing professionally anyway. Well, some people don't, and that's actually part of their process, but I certainly don't have any problem people using technology for creating art, as long as it's what they're doing, actually creating art, not generating pixels. Getting a program to generate them for them. Yeah, I'm going to talk about it every time. Sorry, folks. Yeah, art is the bane of my life. One of them. Gorgeous, right? I hope you agree. Lovely tarot deck. So that's a Kickstarter that's happening right now. Let's see, the Secret Garden Tarot deck itself, $50. So yeah, kind of standard for a tarot deck. Maybe we're seeing a few more $60 decks nowadays. And what's the difference here? A set deepening plus a desk calendar. Okay, that makes sense. Okay, so quite nice. All right, various additional options up above. So that is called the Secret Garden Renaissance Tarot. Renaissance Magic in Tarot, and you'll find the link for that down below. I've got some good news for you folks. So for those of you in North America and worldwide, by the way, because Anathema do ship worldwide, the Credo Quia Absurdum Terra Volatile tarot deck, which is my tarot deck, my go-to tarot deck, the one that I use every day and that I have been using every day for probably about 3 years now, is available in its entirety with the expansion decks, with the books, all the stuff. It's all available right now at Anathema Publishing, and so yeah, they are saying that They are, yeah, the main distributor for the Terra Volatile decks in North America. They're based in Canada, by the way, for those of you who don't know them. And yeah, by the way, if you don't know Anathema Publishing, definitely go and check out the rest of their books here. If you're visiting the Foolish Fish website for the first time, wow, you're in for a treat. This book happens to have an introduction written by me. Yes, it does. Just because of how much I love this book and how often this tarot deck and how often I talk about it. They very kindly reached out to me and asked me if I'd like to write the introduction, so I did. But this is the whole set, right? If you want the book and all the stuff, but yes, if you just want the tarot deck itself, it's a very reasonable £51.93 Canadian dollars. You can change this to, let's see if we can find US dollars here, and we'll see what the prices are in US dollars. 68 US dollars for the core deck, and then you can get the expansion deck. And what I did, I got both the core deck and the expansion deck, and you can swap out the cards that you like or the cards that you prefer, or you can have actually a couple of cards for each arcana that represents a slightly different aspect of that arcana, however you like to do it. But what I love is that the Terra Volatile deck gives you the option of going with the Rider-Waite-Smith system, you know, with the page and the knight and the queen and the king, or with the Thoth, Aleister Crowley's Thoth tarot system, with the princess and the prince and the queen and the knight. And yeah, so that's very cool. I just love this deck so much, and it's very cool to see it back in stock at Anathema Publishing. All right, let's move on to news from Alexander Cummins. Now, I think there are some of these left. This is the Artful Bracelet of Puella. Alexander very kindly helped me out with a course that I was collaborating with Carrie Paris on running, and Dr. Alexander Cummins gave two of the classes there, and the course was on talismans, and he shared his know-how and knowledge on how to make effective talismans. And this is simply one example of the talismans that he makes. He likes to make them wearable so that they're useful in your workings. And it's a very cool particular talisman, this one. So it's the Artful Bracelet of Puella, which is all about creating art, making beautiful things, spiritual works of airy charisma and grace. Designed in aid in arts of craft, artisanship, and feminine empowerment. Really nice stuff. I recommend having a little read over here, right? What this particular talismanic bracelet can do for you. Especially assist those seeking to develop more graceful and fulfilling experiences and engagements with both their spirits and their social circles of friends, colleagues, and audiences alike. Those seeking artful refuge in their dwellings from the passing cruelties and ugliness of the world, etc., etc. So the concept does seem to be just nice, beautiful, artistic, and sociable. There we go, that kind of stuff, those kinds of energies. So yeah, go and check those out. They usually sell out very fast, so definitely go and have a look. What else do we have? Witch lessons from Sarah Mastros. Clean hands cursing. Sarah was writing earlier on that she had a she had done a curse lesson earlier, some time ago, that she wasn't super happy with, and so she's doing a new class on cursing to be used responsibly. Oh my goodness! Please, yeah, be a responsible adult. And then that is on the 21st of August, and it is a very reasonable $49 for the class. Cursing Banework is one of the cornerstones of witchcraft. It certainly is, and an important tool in any magician's practice. These are the arts of gods, the gods teach to the oppressed, to help us fight back against injustice. In this lesson, we focus on clean hands cursing. These practices least likely to boomerang back on the caster. That's good. Yeah, I know of several examples of people who have sent out curses. Didn't go very well for them. Who curses a sorcerer? I mean, who would be stupid enough to do that? Anyway, live on. Yeah, live on. Live on Thursday, August 21st, 2025 at 7 p.m. Eastern. And as a video thereafter. The price will go up to $66 after the live lesson. So even if you can't come live, I encourage you to sign up before then. So that's a lot of fun. And then we got news from Dr. Aaron Davis. Wonderful Dr. Aaron Davis, who did the root work course on the Blackthorn School. Very, very cool stuff. And another course on reaching out to angels. Yeah, this guy's awesome. Very, very cool. A close friend of Jack Grail's also. So welcome to Working the Boneyard PGM edition. So let's take a look. This course provides practitioners with a method to safely traverse their local graveyard that is clearer than much of what is taught in the PGM or similar occult texts. Added value to this one-off is the exploration of PGM 7 spirits for devotional praxis. A unique method of graveyard work with the PGM, a way to practice necromancy more safely, and a method that combines hoodoo with late antiquity praxis. So this is available as a one-time purchase directly from Soulful Santero. Links down below. And of course, my board game of the week is Blood Rage Valhala. It's a standalone sequel to the 2015 Blood Rage. Blood Rage has been one of my favorite games of the past 10 years. We've played it so much with my group of friends, to the point that I just can't play it anymore, just because we have literally played it so much, which should give you an idea of how much we've played it. And this looks like a new edition full of fresh twists and turns, beautiful new sculptures and miniatures. It's surprisingly simple to learn. I'm gonna say that it's no Monopoly, you know, it's no Uno, but it's also not going to be a 36-page rule book, you know. Learning from scratch just from the rule book should take you maybe an hour, and then teaching it should take enough to get started, should really take no more than 10 minutes. So that's pretty much the level, but so much fun, just so engaging, and quite fast, and quite you're essentially forced into battle pretty much immediately, and it's very strategic, and you're trying to get into Valhalla, and of course, depending on how good your deck is, you might actually want to die as much as possible. Like, that might be your road to victory, to die as much as possible in order to get as many soldiers into Valhalla as possible, that kind of thing, right? or it might just be take over as much terrain as possible. But if you've got the other person dying as much as possible in front of you, you don't want to kill them off too much, that kind of thing. Really, really nice, asymmetric, based on deck drafting. So you've got a load of cards in front of you, and you go, okay, I'm going to have that card, and then you pass that deck on to the next person for them to take the card that they want, but you're taking the deck from the person in front of you, kind of thing, right? So you're building out your hand at the beginning of the game so that you've got the hand that you are most happy with, although you're never going to be perfectly happy. So yeah, that's coming out very soon. The reason I'm telling you about it now is that if you click on follow right now, you're going to get emails with special offers to get there it is, join the cause, get mod something. You'll basically get, if you put down a $1 deposit because you're expecting to buy the game, then you'll get a free sculpture. There we go. Mod Gudr for $1. There we are. So that's what I got for you for today, folks. Thank you so much for watching. Thank you so much for joining me again, and just for being excited for these little things that are coming out every week. And I do hope that you found one or two things to get excited about this week as well. Don't forget that if you'd like to have a one-to-one conversation with me, just to talk about your spiritual background and life and where it's going and where you'd like it to go, and if you'd like some recommendations, some book recommendations from me, maybe you'd like me to read your tarot to find out what you're missing out on right now, what you're just not thinking of, what the tarot thinks that you could benefit from doing more of, or at least knowing about, then just find the links down below and let's have a one-to-one conversation. Let's get online and have a video chat. And what else? If you'd like to support the channel, then of course the Patreon is the best way to do that. That'll give you access to the Foolish Fish Discord channel or server, which has got about 300 different subjects, topics, all related to magic, and lots of people there all talking about various magical processes that they're currently doing and giving each other recommendations and stuff. But there are very strict rules, so nobody's ever going to be able to tell you, hey, you shouldn't be doing that or you should be doing that. There are very, very strict rules which everyone has to abide by, and we've got a wonderful team of moderators making sure that everyone's having a really nice time. There we go. Unless people are not following the rules, in which case their trip ends pretty fast. And that's going to be about it, I think, for this week. Thank you again, everyone, for watching. Don't forget to leave a thumbs up. Don't forget to subscribe if you haven't done so already. I'll see you very soon with another video. Bye-bye.